Once upon a time, in a dense and mysterious forest, there lived a little girl named Helen. Helen was born blind, but she never let that make her sad. She lived alone in a small wooden house deep in the forest. Despite her inability to see, Helen had a special sense to perceive the world around her by listening, smelling, and touching. Every morning, Helen woke up to the sound of birds singing. She would step out onto her porch and listen to the babbling brook and the wind rustling through the tall trees. She knew every sound in the forest like the back of her hand, through the tall trees. Helen had a special friend, a small squirrel named Chip. Chip often guided Helen, helping her find food and water. One day, while Helen was wandering with Chip, she heard a cry coming from deep in the forest. Helen and Chip decided to investigate the source of the cry. Followed the sound through thick bushes and paths covered with dry leaves. Finally, they discovered a fawn trapped in a deep hole. Helen quickly found a way to help. She sensed the fawn's panic and gently petted it to calm it down. With Chip's guidance, Helen found a long and sturdy branch and used it to pull the fawn out of the hole. After a struggle, the fawn was safely rescued. The fawn looked at Helen with grateful eyes, and then ran off into the deep forest. From then on, every day when Helen went outside, the fawn would often appear to play and lead Helen to places with delicious fruits. Gradually, the animals in the forest all came to know Helen's kindness and compassion. They all protected and took care of her. Winter arrived, and the forest became cold and covered in white snow. Helen found it more difficult to move around, but the animals did not abandon her. Birds brought red strawberries. Rabbits brought sweet carrots. And Chip, along with other squirrels, brought fragrant chestnuts. Helen never felt lonely because she knew she had wonderful friends. One evening, as Helen was sitting by the fireplace, she heard a strange sound from outside. She opened the door and saw a faint light from a mysterious woman. The woman approached and spoke warmly. "Helen, I am the forest fairy. I have witnessed your courage and kindness. I want to grant you a wish." Helen thought for a moment and then replied, "I wish for all the animals in the forest to always be safe and happy." The forest fairy smiled and waved her magic wand. From that moment, the forest became more prosperous and abundant than ever. The animals lived in harmony, and Helen continued to live happily in her small house with her dear friends. The story of Helen, the blind girl with a kind heart, became a legend, inspiring many with her courage and boundless love. And they all lived happily ever after. To make you mine, 'cause I can't take it.